Hi guys, it is Andy, the BPD warrior here. I am joined by my cat, Gabby. As I said, he is a boy cat, but didn't know he was a boy when he named him, and he's very loud. He likes to yell a lot, so I'm sorry if he starts yelling during the video. You might notice I'm in a different space today. I am in my bedroom. Lay down, baby. I'm in my bedroom instead of my office because it's cooler in here, and it was pretty warm in there, so I didn't want to stay in there. The first thing I want to share with you guys today is a quote I wrote down, and I forgot to annotate where I found this quote, so I'm sorry, I don't know specifically, but I thought it was very, I didn't write it down exactly, but kind of this idea was really smart, and what I wrote down was, do I need to change the situation versus do I need to cope better in this situation? So this is when you're struggling with something and it's like, all right, is this situation too much for me? Maybe it's a friend who's just getting too much for you, or is it a situation that's getting too much for you, but versus, or do I just need to learn to kind of deal with this? And that's sometimes is the thing. It's like, if you can't change the situation that you're in and you're struggling with it, you should learn to cope better in that situation. And that's part of why I'm doing all these videos about coping skills, mostly because coping skills are really important. They're a huge part of learning to live, and everyone has coping skills. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't have mental illness and I don't need coping skills. It's like, well, you have coping skills because you're a human being. Obviously, as a human being, sometimes you're going to be frustrated or upset or angry. How do you handle that? And they're like, well, I do X, Y, and Z. And it's like, okay, well, X, Y, and Z are your coping skills. So everyone needs coping skills. Just with a mental illness, sometimes it's harder to access those. One thing I was told when I was first starting in DBT, one of the theories for how you end up developing borderline personality disorder is you're growing up normal, you're growing up, and then you get a trauma, and you stop emotionally developing. So you don't learn those coping skills that a lot of people kind of come by naturally just through the aging process. And that's why DBT has so many coping skills. And as I've said in multiple videos, you should definitely and I say in my speeches all the time, you need to practice your coping skills when you feel fine. It seems silly, it feels weird, but you get that muscle memory, you know how to access those. He's so cute. I know you guys can't see him. He's down here. See? You're on camera, baby. He's my good boy. So you can, access those coping skills when you are under stress. Another thing, though, is to practice a lot of coping skills. The first one you try might not be for you. There are tons of DBT coping skills, and I'm like, nope, that doesn't work for me. Not doing that. But trying them on, try them a few times, and if it doesn't work for you, then it doesn't work for you. And that's okay. You just have to find which ones fit you best. So on to some other coping skills. This is a common one that a lot of people, when we do our group, there's one part we share our coping skills, and we ask the group, what are coping skills you use? And one of the most common ones I hear is journaling, which I do sometimes. I don't do it a lot, but when I need to, I definitely do. I have a folder on my drive that it's under writing, but then for every year I have a folder, and I just label them the date usually. I rarely go back and read them, but just to get those thoughts, out of my head and onto paper and contextualized is very helpful. It really can be, and a lot of people like to go back and read their journals. I went back and read some from like middle school and high school. He's trying to bite me. Middle school and high school, which was weird, but wasn't too bad. He likes his nose rubbed. But journaling can be a very helpful skill for a lot of people, not just me or the people who I talk to in the groups, but even people who don't have a mental illness. I know many people who keep a daily journal, and I couldn't keep up with doing it daily, but I do it when I need to. Probably 2 or 3 times a month at the very least. I might write more if I'm under duress or having a tough week or stressed out or something like that. So the next thing I wanted to link to, it's actually something that we keep on hung up on the wall over there. You can't quite see where it is, but it's the emotion wheel. And you can just type emotion wheel into Google image search. This is the one we use. Hopefully you guys can sort of read that. But it's just names of emotions to kind of help you figure out how you're feeling, to put it into words. And the one we have, I mean, some of them are colored, some of them are less detailed, some of them might be more detailed. I like the ones that are more detailed. But like you start kind of in the center, it's like, am I sad, disgust, anger, fear, surprise, happy? Those are kind of a lot of the basic emotions. And then as you go out, there's more words to kind of, hone in on what the exact words are. And rarely are you going to only feel one word emotion at any time, because we're complex people, all of us, whether you're neurotypical or you have a mental illness. We're all human beings. And sometimes it's hard to find the word for how we feel. I know that's something Eddie struggles with a lot of times, and that's one reason we keep it on the wall, because if I'm like, how are you feeling? And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, all right, let me get the wheel, and give him a chance to kind of figure out how he's feeling. Where did that go? Shoot, my cat kind of messed me up because he climbed all over my stuff. So the next thing I was going to share, I have to open my phone to unlock my phone, is a app I've been using, and it's for this one's for an Android. I think it's on iOS as well, but I'm sure you can find a similar app, or you can just do it like a normal, in real life. And it's called Paint by Number, which again, you can just get one of those like Lisa Frank or whatever paint by number sets. It's basically coloring. But this is one I did the other day that I like. You can tell why I like it, because it's a girl with purple hair. It won't focus. But it gives you the color, and you just kind of tap, the right color in the right spot. And I think one thing I do like about this is it has like a daily one. They call it a journal, but you don't get to really pick it. So I don't know if it's a journal, but they have it like a daily one for each day of the month, and you get points if each time you do one, and if you do like whether you're doing the journal or one you just found. So I do like that. I will say it is ad supported. Sometimes before you like open one, you'll have to watch a short video, something like that. But it's not like super intrusive, and at least I've only been using it for about a week and a half. From what I've seen, it doesn't have a lot of and there's the option to get things without ads by paying, but I haven't ran into a lot of paywalls or anything like that, so that's why I would suggest that one. I wanted to tell you guys that in case you forgot, you need to send a card to your mother if you're not actually going to see her. You don't want that. You might. Send your mother a card if you're not going to see her. It's probably not smart to go to like Hallmark or anything. I should have told you guys this sooner, but I sent my card out yesterday. And I made mine. I do paper art, so it wasn't super hard for me. And all I did was basically you just take a piece of cardstock, 8.5 by 11, fold it in half. Then I used some scrapbooking paper and put a design on the front, and then used some stickers and glue and tape, of course, to attach everything together, and wrote a nice note, or you can draw something, or even just sending an e-card. It's a nice thing to do, for the mother in your life. I'm sure they'll really appreciate it, since a lot of us won't be doing our regular Mother's Day brunch or dinner, or however you usually celebrate Mother's Day. And it's not very expensive to send a card, you know, just a little bit of postage. So the last two things I wanted to show you, well, it's really one thing I wanted to show you guys. As you can see, I had told you guys before that I have like 1,000,000 ducks and I'm collecting them, and I have a bag actually in the other room of my office of ducks that still need shelving to go on. We need to buy another set of shelves, but I've got one. Oops, wrong way. That one there. It's hard to do because in the mirror it's mirrored when I'm looking at it. And then there's 3 over here, and then a piece of artwork in the middle with the peacock. But yeah, lots of ducks. Lots of ducks. But I do have a few sporadic things in there that aren't ducks. Like this one over here has multiple Fallout character like models. But I have 2 things that I thought you guys would appreciate. First, and I really need to see if I can get some batteries and actually make this work. I found it in a box of stuff I packed so many years ago when I was like in 8th grade or something. Yak Back. I don't know if you guys remember Yak Back, but you hit say and record something, and then you hit play as many times as you want, and it just plays. It was very popular in the 90s, and it makes me laugh that I still have it. This one is actually mental health related. That one's just kind of funny. But this is a stress ball, but it is shaped like a brain. And you can see on it, it says NAMI Virginia, and no health without mental health, which is true. For some reason, sometimes psychiatric help isn't considered medical for some reason, and I think they've mostly changed that in recent years, but I know my insurance when I was in college would not cover mental health when I was really struggling with it at first. I mean, that wasn't the first time, but it took a while to get mental health coverage. Alright guys, so that's all I have for now. I am making multiple videos today, so I'll have some kind of ready to go on days where I might not be up for it, or just don't have a specific topic to go on. So if you see me in this room, it's probably wearing this dress. It's probably from today. Alright, thanks guys. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Stay home if you can. Thank you to everyone who's an essential employee who's been going into work and delivering food to us and delivering my groceries and bringing me mail. And I even wrote on the back of the Mother's Day card, like, thank you to all postal workers, right, you know, for working through this crisis. So take care of yourself, guys. That's all I got. BPD Warrior, and I'm out.